Welcome to the MoxStars podcast. I am Menace, one of your hosts, and I'm here with Rampage.
We're back, baby. How we doing?
What is up, dude? If you'd like to support the show, you can do so by finding us on YouTube, where you can like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more notifications. We are almost to 600 subscribers, so every like, every bell ring, every subscription counts. You can also support us on all major podcasting platforms and minor ones as well by finding us and leaving us a 5-star review. Make us look super duper cool. You can also support us on Patreon by becoming an official Pepperhead for $3 a month. Have your name turned Dr. Pepper Red on the Discord server. Also, jump in the Discord server. And you know what? Before we get into like the topic of the show, I want to shout out Zach, because in the Discord server today, Zach got in and he dropped a new Naya deck list into the Brew Buddies channel. And there's been like a bunch of discussions stirred up right after it went up, but the deck was actually sick. It was a new Rocco Cabaretti Caterer list that he's building for high power, and it's all landfall based. So it was super cool to like see a new list pop up. So if you jump on the Discord server and you pop a deck list into the Brew Buddies, there's a chance I'm going to bring it up on the show because I want to shout out sweet deck lists when I see them. So jump on there. You can support us on the, on Patreon, like UWP Quirt. He is our solo Pepperhead at the moment. So yeah, shout out. Did it. This deck list is super sweet. I didn't think that Lumra would be like a target for Rocco, but it's just like a secondary commander that helps the deck just go crazy. So I love that. I love this list, Zach. Nice work. I play as Tithe. All right, we're moving on. Today, we are talking about Spider-Man. I would wish I had some Spider-Man music to play in the back, but it's a new set coming out, and honestly, the impressions have been pretty lukewarm, I would say, amongst the community. Everything that I've seen from Reddit to Instagram to the Professor to all these different content creators talking about Spider-Man is that nobody seems to be all that interested. Well, we're not gonna be the Debbie Downers here. We actually see some pretty great things in the set, and there's a lot of like adjacent product alongside the Spider-Man set that I do think is really, really good. So we're gonna talk about those things today, and I know that Rampage, you have a list of cards that you want to go through. So we're gonna get there. There's some pretty hot stuff out there.
Between the universes within art that they displayed, I think that stuff looks beautiful. And yes, there's cards in this set I think have a chance. There's niche applications for a lot of this stuff. And I want to highlight it. I want to talk about it because I think it's cool and I don't want it to get missed. Yeah,
just like it's not just meant to be chaff. There's some cards that can be cEDH relevant. There's some cards that are going to be high power relevant, and anywhere in between. And there's exclusively like a 5-color superhero spider that is meant to be like your Spider-Man commander. So I'm super stoked to cover that. We'll get to that eventually. But first, some of that adjacent product that's coming out it just got announced the day that we're recording this. So the first impressions have been pretty nasty, honestly. But we have the entire Secret Lair Marvel Superman drop spoiled for us this morning. And while pretty much everybody saw the Daily Bugle the Secret Lair drop, we got to see the rest of the drops today. And there's Marvel Spider-Man's Heroic Deeds, which is an Ephemerate, a 3 visits, Lightning Greaves, Soul Ring, Command Tower. And then if you go down to Marvel Spider-Man's villainous plots, you have Deadly Dispute, Go for the Throat, Lightning Greaves, Soul Ring, and Command Tower. So these sets are both the same price at $30 for non-foil, $40 for foil, but 2 drops where 3 of the 5 cards are the same. I think that kind of sucks.
I don't know. It's pretty cool. Now I have a Soul Ring to put into my Commander deck.
Oh, you don't have one?
Oh no, I did. I've never. I don't. Soul Ring is the first time I'm reading this. Is this new to the set? Soul Ring. That's why they put it in 2 different secret layer drops.
Dude, this card's so busted. It should be banned.
I agree.
It's crazy to me that they think that it's like the Breaking Bad meme where he's like, they can't keep getting away with this. They just keep doing it. Like how you were saying off record, like they spin a wheel, right? And they have a bunch of card names on it.
100. They take the 100 most commonly played Commander cards. Like when you think of Commander, what cards do you think of? They put them on a wheel, they spin them, and then they put these secret layer faces on them. I thought they did a great job when they did SpongeBob, like a Toxrill, a Sandy, like the Toski card. Like I thought those were the cool skins, cool flavor.
Yeah.
But to give us back-to-back Lightning Greaves, Soul Ring, Command Tower is a rough look.
It's so awful because no one is ever going to get their value back on this at all. Like that's probably the biggest thing for me is when secret layers were like first coming out, and I know we're way past that era. I can't keep thinking that it's going to be like that, but like there used to be value in these. I remember when the Praetors got printed in Phyrexian script, and I was like, for $30, I was like, everyone should be going out and buying this. And that's when it was printed to order. And I hope that when that came out, you went out and bought it because that was a great value. Vorinclex alone was like $30, and then you were just getting all of these other expensive cards. Like, believe it or not, the 7-drop Elish Norn was like a $50 card at one point. So it's like 5 creatures, while Urabrask has always been like the butt of the joke and has always been sort of horrible. But I mean, that's your toss in. Everything else had value. Jingataxis, all that stuff. So we are a long... Oh, go ahead.
My first secret layer was when the fetch lands got reprinted in mass, and you got all 10.
Yeah,
that was a value buy.
Yeah, like at the time, because fetch lands were upwards of like $70 for certain ones. They were really hard to get, and they were expensive. And then you could only get them on like extra sheets for Zendikar Rising or something like that. So secret layers used to have a lot of value in them, and now you get $10 maybe. I think that with the amount of Lightning Greaves that have been printed, 2 in this, that the value is probably $5 or less, and then 3 visits is a $2 card, and Ephemerate is like a quarter. So I don't really see the value. You get less than $10 in cards for $30, and they're supposed to be like this limited time thing. And so you get all of these, I'm just going to call it like I see it, but you get all of these foolish scalpers out there like thinking that they can just go in and buy 10 of these and then hope to flip them on the market. There's no way. There is just no way.
I think this secret layer drop probably won't be their best selling. I don't think there's going to be that huge demand where everyone gets in the queue and there's a 2-hour wait time. But maybe that's a good thing, right? Maybe this should be for the fans. That's what we always wanted secret layer to be in the past, right? For the people who knew, for the franchise players, get them some cool stuff, some special arts for the ones who know. Maybe we're going back to that. Maybe that's the point of this.
Hey,
you
let's
know,
decrease our
we made,
sales.
I think we made like the lightning greave joke, the soul ring joke, ha ha ha. But if you're a big Spider-Man kid, I don't know about you. I wasn't. I'm familiar with the concept, but I wasn't a comic book kid. These aren't for me, and I won't be partaking in the secret lair. But maybe that's okay. Maybe now, because I'm not in it, and maybe the scalpers have the realization that they're not going to be able to flip this. The people who want them, the big Spider-Man kids, get theirs. And that's really cool. Maybe this is a good thing.
Yeah, I'm not going to say like if that is the intention, I'm 1,000% behind it, because if the intention is to lower the appeal to the people who really care, but yeah, it just makes me I press X to doubt if Wizards of the Coast is intentionally trying to reduce the number of sales.
Sure. Yeah, there was some altruism here. No, that's fair.
Yeah. It's like, I would love if that were the case, where it's just like, but eventually someone will get FOMO and someone will feel like, oh man, that Scheming Symmetry art from the Daily Bugle, I love Spider-Man. When did that secret lair come out? Oh, 2 years ago? Why is the Scheming Symmetry like $25? You know, like, it's because they were all scalped and tossed on the secondary market, and then just sat there forever because no one's been buying them, and the price has just been going up. Everyone who got one got one. But yeah, there are more secret lair drops in this super drop as well. We have the Marvel's Spider-Man Mana Symbiote. So these are the, like, if you were playing Magic or when OLB1 came out, Phyrexia OLB1, you saw the biggest fumble I can't even say in Magic's history. This seemed like such a big deal at the time, but they printed these oil slick lands that were only available in like this exclusive collector's bundle. And so and in collector booster packs. So they were kind of hard to get your hands on, and they were near unreadable. And the thing is that when you played them, they got so many complaints because some players couldn't tell if that forest was a swamp, or if that swamp was a plains, or if that plains was an island. And so, like, now they've come back to it, and for what might seem like a lot of money, you get 10 lands for $60, and they're the oil slick. They color coded the mana symbols, not with just a light smattering of color, but with really like a big bright stamp of purple for the swamp, blue for the island. If you're on YouTube, you can see these. But I'm very excited for this one. And each one has like symbiote artwork that's like, the mountain is Carnage, the swamp is obviously Venom, and then I don't know enough about, I honestly don't know enough about Spider-Man to name the other symbiotes that are a part of this, but yeah, this drop looks sick. I like this one a lot. And if you were wondering, oh, is it really worth it? $60 for 10 lands? Everyone paid the same amount of money for the Godzilla lands, and it's like, it was $30 at the time. So $30 for 5 lands. Nobody wanted to buy it. We complained for a long time about maybe allowing, like for Wizards of the Coast, to allow you to buy, 10 of any one color, or allowing some flexibility where it's like, oh, I want to have these forests for my mono green deck, but I don't want to have to buy, 5 of these secret layers for that. They still haven't done that. But if you buy this, you are not without value, because I think it's important to take a look at those oil slick lands from OLB1. So the swamp alone, the oil slick swamp, is $15 on TCG Player. Like $14 for lightly played, and then the further you go down, climbs 14s until you hit 15. The value of these has taken off. If you bought in early, like I did, My draft kit is actually all of these oil slick lands. I have 10 of each. So this was a great investment for me. It's a great investment. And then if you go look at all the other lands, they're all like $6 or $7, even the forest. So I think that if you are looking for secret layers that have great value, this one, while the price tag may look exorbitant, this one will be worth it. You can mark my words right away, right when you buy it, it will not be worth it. They will find the secondary market. People will buy these. They'll find the secondary market, and you can probably get each of them for $4 to $5. Fair, okay? But go out and get them. Like, they will climb in price. They're so sick. I don't know why anyone ever complained about the oil slick ones, because I still look at them as some of the prettiest lands that have ever been made. And you have
those oil slick lands were, I don't know how to say it, generic, right? They're a swamp scenery in the back. There's some water scenery in the back, right? You can throw those into any deck. Are you going to see that same thing with these? Are we going to be grabbing our symbiote lands and just throwing them in any deck, or do you think they're going to stick to Spider-Man at the helm with my oil slick lands?
Oh, I think these can be put into anything. The one thing that I will say about the oil slick lands is that they are like generic enough to where you actually don't even look at the scenery in the background enough, because they're somewhat obscured due to how heavily shaded, and there's not a whole lot of like contrast, and you only see that contrast when you bend it in the light and you get to see the shine of the foil. So I think if you were to buy these and throw these in any deck or whatever, they would stand out more than the oil slicks, but the artwork is so large that I think that it won't exclusively look like a Spider-Man land. Sure. Yeah. I think these are excellent. So I was hard.
I think these are the coolest thing we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Well, I was like hard on Wizards of the Coast for the other, Lightning Greaves, Soul Ring, Command Tower things. This one's actually sick. If you're listening to this and you're wondering if secret layers are still a good value, this one is. This one seems like a good value. All right, we have two more, and they're both the same. So it is the Venom Unleashed Secret Lair, which comes with Damnation, Dark Ritual, Peer into the Abyss, Surgical Extraction, and Tendrils of Agony. These are all really great cards, really great, just like mono black staples for Commander. And the other one is the Venom Unleashed, but it's ink. Like they call them inks, but they're all just black and white. And so they're going to look probably pretty cool in foil, but 30 for non-foil, 40 for foil. Sort of like similar to the Junji Ito Secret Lair from way back. You're going to get, Damnation, Dark Ritual, Peer into the Abyss, Tendrils, and Surgical Extraction. If you are building Venom from the set itself, you should go out and you should buy these. Like, these are great cards. You're never going to be upset about having a Damnation, a Dark Ritual, a Peer into the Abyss. Surgical Extraction is rising on my list of cards. Like, if I'm playing black, this is an auto include for me now. Like, it's so good. You can choose a card in a graveyard other than a basic land, and then search. It's instant speed exile card from the graveyard, and then you get to search. You get to look through their library to see what they're doing. So in cEDH, this has a lot of value, where even if they turn one throw a fetch into the graveyard, you can surgical extraction to see what their deck is trying to do. So pretty great.
Hold on, you're not using surgical extraction to exile all of your Slime Against Humanities to make one giant ooze token?
Unfortunately not. No, not my thing.
That is my application for this card. You put a Slime Against Humanity in your grave, and the next time you cast one, you can exile all the rest of them. So your deck's thinning, you're getting good draws after that, and you got a giant ooze creature.
Good draws. You're drawing lands. You're gonna draw every land. Everyone's brain works a little differently. Surgical Extraction is great. And then you have Tendrils of Agony if you're playing Storm. This is just a really good commander card. It's not necessarily competitive, but it can win you a game. Hey, if you're popping off, Tendrils of Agony, that can win you a game. All right. Secret Lairs be damned. They have one good one. They do have one good one in here. So check them out. If you are a fan, like Rampage is saying, obviously get out there, go out, get in the queue, buy your favorite one or all of them. I'm not sure what type of psychopath you are listening to this. You're listening to us. You're listening to the MoxStars podcast, the #1 podcast on the internet for Magic the Gathering and Dr. Pepper. So you're at least a little crazy that you might go out here and buy the Daily Bugle Secret Lair drop. All right. Magic the Gathering. Spider-Man. It's here. It's coming out. And today we're going to talk about some of our favorite cards. So, honestly, Rampage, I think I'm going to let you steer the ship on this baby. If you want to just kind of point in the right direction, and then we'll just start talking about cards.
Okay, cool. Because I have a list in front of me, and I don't know if they did this on purpose, but I'm so excited for these red and blue cards. So everything that matches Spidey's suit, I think is awesome. I think they did a great job on it. I think it offers some unique gameplay ways to tune your deck, further refine it, give it some synergy or uniqueness, or just be really good. So if you're cool with it, I'm going to start with the blue cards. My favorite of the blues have been Hydro-Man, Fluid Felon.
Oh, yeah.
For a blue, you get a 2/2 elemental villain. When you cast a blue spell, if Hydro-Man is a creature, he gets a 1/1 till end of turn. And at the beginning of your end step, untap Hydro-Man. Until your next turn, he becomes a land and gains tap, add a blue. So what? Blue gets ramp spells now? Like, this is phenomenal. When we're deck building and we are cut way down on colors, so like in a mono blue deck or blue plus something else, I always try to explore kind of unique or fun ramp options that are unique to that color, and I think this slots in there so good. Not only can he get big, he can give you some more mana. So if you're storming off or you need interaction left up on another player's turn, this does both.
Yeah, funny enough, I think this is going to be a standard all-star for like the right deck. Like mono blue has already kind of been coming back, and I think this just like helps that deck take off. You could play Illuge in standard alongside this card, and I think you'd be happy. Like it's very rare. This might be the first time we've seen this effect where it's like, yeah, this creature comes in and then at the end step, if you attacked or whatever, it untaps and then it becomes a land. Noticeably, it doesn't become an island. Like right. It just has tap for blue, Hydro-Man, the land. So yeah, it's exciting. It's like evasion. Like on your turn, this creature is a creature, but on your opponent's turn, how are you going to target it? It is resistant to board wipes, which are mostly sorcery speed. So, and it helps you hold up mana for interaction. So it's a really interesting card that in Constructed will see a lot of play. In Commander, it's just a fun card. So yeah, that's kind of where I sit on it too, is like, this is the first time we've seen something like this. It has evasion. It helps you ramp in a color that notably doesn't ramp outside of colorless artifacts. And yeah, that's my 2 cents on Hydro-Man, Fluid Felon. And it's an elemental, so you could play elemental synergies alongside it. Risen Reef loves this guy.
You don't even need to hit the land. It is the land.
It is the land.
Another blue card I wanted to talk about here was Spider Sense for 1 and a blue, or just a blue if you web sling it. Counter target instant spell, sorcery spell, or triggered ability. Wizards heard my call. They said, "Hey, can we make stifles good?" This is our first step in that direction. I don't know if this is C playable. I think there's a world where it happens. But for 1 mana, you're going to have some sort of mana dork that you can return to your hand to counter triggered abilities, to counter Thassa's ETB. And if you're not doing that, targeting instant or countering instants and sorceries, this might not be it, but we are well on our way, and I'm really excited to see how this plays.
Yeah, I think this could see cEDH play. There's probably people trying to tech it right now with like Blue Farm. Like, you are swinging every turn that you can, right? You're always trying to turn something sideways to get card draw off of Tymna. So there's not really a lot of downside in like pushing Tymna back to your hand to make something like this happen. Or, even Yuriko. Yuriko probably, because this is like pseudo ninjutsu. Right? This is
Sure.
spell slinging ninjutsu, if you will, right? So counter target instant spell, sorcery spell, or triggered ability. This helps you protect the win attempt. This helps you just battle on the stack in certain ways. Like you said, Thassa's Oracle trigger. Notably, nobody plays Stifle, or Trick Bind might see play from time to time if you're lower on colors, because it has split second. But this has enough versatility to where, like, even Ragavan, like if you're playing Blue Farm or if you're playing Red Blue or whatever, and you put a Ragavan out there and then swing with it, get the treasure, pays for itself, and then you can just bounce a Ragavan back to your hand next turn, dash it out or something. So there's upside with Ragavan here that I see. I do think that the most common deck you'll probably see it played in or tested in is Blue Farm. But yeah,
I thought Blue Farm for the attack triggers, like you said, or anything big mana, pill, Gaia's Cradle, the deck, Kinnan or Rogthras, right? They're going to have
Kinnan's
plenty
a
of
good one.
dorks you can take advantage of with this.
Yeah, Kinnan's a really good suggestion, actually. This probably gets play in that because they're always looking for more flexible versus like interaction. So,
and that was always the argument against stifles, right? You don't need a stifle. Counter the spell. Pay 1 mana to counter the spell, and now you have that versatility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this could also be used as a way to bounce a creature back to your hand to abuse like an ETB effect, which would be like that's really fun. That's I don't even know what deck would seek to do that. Like, there's not when you're talking about like Blue Farm or even Yuriko, a lot of those creatures have just like benefits attached to dealing combat damage, not necessarily to entering the battlefield. So you could do some fun stuff with it.
I think when you start slipping into the fun category, you start talking in casual, and now this gets even cooler. Like, there's 1,000 more fun triggered abilities that nobody expects to be countered, and then you whip this bad boy out. You tap your mana dork to float some mana, and then you web sling this spell with that mana dork you just tapped to counter some giant game-winning ETB.
Yep.
And just blow out your opponent. That's what we live for.
Yes. Yeah. Spider Sense is going to be. I want it. I want it. It looks so good. I think it's going to be great in any format. So it's in standard. Yeah, it's in every format. And until it gets banned for some reason, for some broken reason that we don't quite see yet, this is probably going to be the best counter spell in all of standard. Mark my words. All right, next card.
Do Do you have any other blue spells you want to talk about? I got a couple more on my list, but I don't know if they're anything to write home about.
Oh, I do. I have one that I particularly have my eye on.
Feed me, dog.
It's Secret Identity. So it's 1 blue mana for an instant, and you get to choose one. You get to conceal or reveal. If you choose conceal, until end of turn, target creature you control becomes a citizen with base power and toughness 1/1 and gains hexproof. Noticeably, it does not lose its abilities. And then reveal, until end of turn, target creature you control becomes a hero with base power and toughness 3/4 and gains flying and vigilance. So there is a lot of upside to this card. Like giving something hexproof and turning into a 1/1 can protect your advantage, protect your creature, the thing that your strategy is sort of pivoting around. Or it can help you get through with a punch, because giving flying and vigilance is not nothing. Now, it does prevent you from web slinging, sure, but the benefit of making your creature buffer or getting over the top or making sure that you have a blocker the following turn is so, like, it's so valuable. So Secret Identity, I think, in Standard, in Pioneer, even, I'm not sure if this is like, you'd have to be so commander centric to like really want this card, or you're maybe playing into Spider-Man, like a Spider-Man commander, and you want to be flavorful. I think this is perfect for that. But this is one of, if not the best dive down type effect that we have ever seen. Mark my words. Secret Identity.
Blue's little combat trick here. That looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
My commander brain helps to, man, if I could make Devoted Druid 3/4 in Teom.
Yo, like, exactly, just like that. There are additional things that you could do with this that I don't quite see at the moment, but it seems like it has a really high ceiling, because I used to play Chromium from Core 19 because it had the ability to, like, I can't remember if you had to discard a card or something like that, but you could turn it into a 1/1 hexproof that can't be blocked. Like, there's something to that. You could also play this in tandem with, like, if you're playing like blue-white Delny, and you could turn whatever creature you're swinging with into a 1/1, so you could double the trigger that when it hits at instant speed. You can do crazy weird things with it. The ceiling is just there. It's just for 1 blue mana, it's incredibly mana efficient for what effect it offers you. These modal spells have obviously been on the MoxStars radar for a long time. We love having this duality on a single card. It almost eliminates a slot. It does both. So you don't need to consider other cards that do one or the other. You can have this now. All right.
What does it do? Everything?
Yeah. All right.
Any other blue cards for you?
No, you can go ahead and hit me as your next one.
Okay. I'm out of blue cards.
Blue cards gone. We're done.
So when we go through these lists, it's always important to go in Wooburg order. I did that. I went in Wooburg order. That's because on my list, I have no white spells.
There's honestly nothing to talk about really in white. That's the end of that sentence. I think there's one enchantment that you could potentially play, and that is Rent is Due. And at the beginning of your end step, it's 1 white mana to play this. But at the beginning of your end step, you may tap 2 untapped creatures and or treasures you control, so money. If you do, draw a card. Otherwise, sacrifice this enchantment. So this is like end step, draw a card for pretty minimal. Like, you don't need to do a whole lot to make it happen.
Don't let them trick you. Don't let this be another smuggler's share.
No, this is not a smuggler's share.
They put draw a card on a white spell.
Yeah. And for 1 mana.
And now what?
For 1 mana. This can increase your Serra Sanctum count Maybe it's a trap. But you do have to have the creatures and or treasures to tap it at your end step. So the turn you play it, you better have the stuff. Otherwise, rent is due and it's getting sacrificed. So otherwise, white is totally bare naked, totally useless color in this set.
It feels bad. I really looked for something, but I just don't need my creatures to be 1/1 bigger.
Yeah.
That's what white's doing right now.
Yeah, you just want it to do more than that.
I'm sure in draft, like white will be an all-star. It'll be a battle cruisery, punch you in the mouth, great color. But for commander, for what I'm looking at, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah. All right, on to black.
This is also where my list tapers off a little bit. I have the black card here in my notes. The only one I have listed is the Soulstone. The hype's worth it. I think this card's good. I don't know if it's $100 good.
Yeah,
it is good.
If you're listening to this, the pre-order for it is $120. That's insane.
That hurts me.
Yeah. What's it do?
So we're gonna wait on this for a little bit. The Soulstone, 1 and a black for a Infinity Stone, new artifact type. It is indestructible, and it taps for black mana. That's all it really does. If by some magical means you get 7 more mana, 6 and a black, you can exile a creature you control to harness the Soulstone. Once harnessed, its infinity ability is active. And that means at the beginning of your upkeep, you can return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So you can get a reanimate every upkeep in the late game. I think there's decks that are going to love that. But for what we're doing with it, 2 mana rock comes in untapped. Pretty cool. I think that's worth the legendary title there.
Yeah, it is a 2 mana rock that has upside, and it's indestructible as well. So I think the implication is more what intrigues me with the Soulstone, in that this implies that we are going to see 4 more stones. So that has got me scratching my head like, what's the next Marvel set that we're going to see? But I think your standard Commander game, when, for the longest time, people were like, game nights, you are scripted. Like, you guys script everything. You want to highlight the new cards and stuff like that. So you put them into your opening hands. They're going to put this one in their opening hand, and they're going to make it look like it's the strongest artifact you've ever seen on the next Game Nights episode. I guarantee you. But
that's 3 guarantees so far for the people at home. Write those down.
I'm guaranteeing.
We're going to come back on this video in a year, and we're going to see if Menace was right.
I have never not always been right, The Soulstone, I think in standard Commander games, you're going to get there. You're going to get there kind of often whenever you get it. Now, the setup to get, does any creature reanimating it count as value? Yes. Obviously, there are decks that are going to be able to take better advantage of the Soulstone. So, and it's in black, yes. So you are going to probably be somewhat in reanimator strategies or somewhat in discard strategies. It's an auto include. It has upside, and it's very generic upside. But the 7 mana, we'll see if you're able to get there. If I see this played, if someone plays this against me ever, the pace of play is going to increase. Right? I'm like, the entire tone of the game changes because I'm not letting you get to 7. Like, no. So I'm going to, if I was pulling my punches before, I'm not going to pull them anymore. I'm sorry. But if you're playing the Soulstone, there's a chance that you generate advantage and you break parity quicker than everybody else based on the infinity ability. It is strong. I don't think it's the craziest card I've ever seen. People will shell out $120 to get one, though. They will. It's proven. Card Kingdom proved it. is proving it.
Now, do you think it's worth $120 if you can harness the Soul Stone multiple times?
How do you do that?
Well, I mean, just keep going, right? Every turn, pay 7, exile a creature you control, and harness the Soul Stone again. Now, you can, I guess, maybe I should rephrase. You can harness the Soul Stone as much as you want, but it only lets you bring one creature back every upkeep.
Oh my
You'll never
God.
get multiple triggers of it.
Notably, you can't get the creature you harnessed back with this ability, but you can harness a token with the Soul Stone. That's pretty cool. All right.
We might be spending a lot of time on this, but it's the only black card I had on my list. I think everything else is kind of parasitic with the set. If you want to do Marvel Spider-Man stuff and you want some black cards, they're in the set. They'll help you out. They'll do it. But the only one I'm thinking about is this Soul Stone. Do you got any?
Yeah, I have one. I do think that Gwenum Remorseless is worth mentioning.
Sure.
So this is 3 and 2 black for a legendary creature, Symbiote Spider Hero, and you'll notice throughout the as you look through the set, there are very few symbiote heroes. So this is kind of a rarity in typing. Anti-Venom is also a symbiote hero, but Gwenum is a 4/4 Death Touch lifelink that says whenever Gwenum attacks until end of turn, you may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may play cards from the top of your library. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana value rather than pay its mana cost. This is Bolas's Citadel on a creature. So in standard, I think this is a really good card.
Bolas's Citadel got lifelink. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it has lifelink where if it makes contact, when it makes contact, you're going to gain the life regardless of what it hits, unless they have a 4/4 first strike or whatever. But it's going to kill something, it's going to gain life, and you're going to start slinging spells off the top. The only thing that can stop you is hitting a second land. So it's pretty exciting. I do think this has massive upside. It doesn't have any evasion though, so that's kind of where it will fall off. We'll see how competitive players value this, since we value Bolas's Citadel. Bolas's Citadel is such a key part of certain strategies with Keurig and stuff like that, where does having having the redundancy for that effect good for competitive decks? I am not entirely sure, but I think that the effect is incredibly powerful. It's been proven time and time again that in combination with something like Sensei's Divining Top and Aetherflux Reservoir, that this could be powerful. But that's it. I don't see it being. It's going to be expensive because it's a mythic that has the effect, but I don't think it's nearly as potent as Bolas's Citadel. And that's
you
my
never
spiel.
have to wait a turn to use your Bolas's Citadel.
Right.
If you can accumulate the mana, you can pop off that turn.
Yeah, usually once the Citadel
This is the alarm
drops.
bells. Everyone's looking at this across the table being like, hey, we have a turn.
That's a Bolas's Citadel right there. Yeah, that we can get rid of it before it does anything. But when Bolas's Citadel hits the field, you immediately get the value. So, yeah, it's powerful, but
it's cool. I think it would be fun in a deck that is all about giving your creatures haste, or what's the mechanic similar to Dash, where they come out and they're sacrificed at the end of the end phase, but they have haste.
like Unearth?
No, it's from New Capenna. I can't think of the name of it.
Blitz.
There we go. If you have a Blitz deck and you can get this out there, I think that's some really cool synergy.
Oh yeah, this is a great Henzi card. Yeah, I could see it played in Henzi. That seems good. All right, red stuff. Let's go.
Oh, we're back. We're excited. We're so in. So blue, original hype. Red, even more hype. Looking at something that got spoiled feels like 3 years ago. Pumpkin bombs.
Oh
One in a
yeah.
red. Artifact. Tap, discard two, draw three. Then you put a fuse counter on it. It deals damage equal to the number of fuse counters on it to target opponent. They gain control of it. If you're at my table, I will always accept the damage so that I can draw cards. If I'm ever in possession of this, I will deal some damage to you only under the condition that you agree to give me the pumpkin bombs back. I will die drawing cards. That is okay. That is how I want to go out.
Oh, I had to go to a different platform to find it since it wasn't on the website I was on. Anyway, yeah, pumpkin bombs are great. When this like sort of like artwork, this whatever what do they call it? Like the panoramic
Yep, yep.
thing came out and I saw this was one of the cards, I was like, holy crap. Yeah, this is insane. Discard two cards, so it plays right into that reanimator strategy. I think that if you're playing this, you are somewhat just leaning into that as well. Draw three cards, put a fuse counter on it. Yeah. Yeah. Pass it back and forth, baby. Maybe, like somebody probably doesn't want to give it to you, but they are discarding two cards as well, so you do get to learn a little bit more. This is a fun card. And that's ultimately why we play the game, right? To have fun. This is a
That's
fun.
where I'm at. Like as far as like color identity, this is a very red card. And I think as far as flavor, theme, again, don't know much about the Spider-Man lore, but it seems to fit right in. It's so cool.
Yeah. Draw three cards, put a fuse counter, deals damage equal to the number of fuse counters on it to target opponent. Then gain control of it. Okay. So I'm just trying to think, like, if you control a damage doubling effect, you don't control the card when it goes away. So your damage doubling effect wouldn't trigger unless it said a card you own does it. I don't know. Regardless, it's card draw. And it's pretty like this puts a clock on the game too. I think that the more it will get passed around basically every single turn that it goes to somebody, which is nice. I don't think anybody's going to hold on to it for long. Like when they need cards, they will tap it.
Oh yeah. No, this is I mean, the turn you get it, you're tapping it and passing it back, right?
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
I draw three cards is too sexy.
It's too tempting. There's one red card that I have my eye on, and I don't know why they needed to go so hard for such an unassuming villain, like a villain that nobody really likes. Electro, but Electro Assaulting Battery is 1 and 2 red for a legendary creature human villain, a 2/3 with flying. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end, so an effect that you particularly love is right here in front of you. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, add a red mana. And then when Electro leaves the battlefield, you may pay X. When you do, he deals X damage to target player. So not only is he a 2/3 that can keep punching in with evasion, but you get to hang on to red mana as steps and phases end. And then he accumulates mana as well. So this is almost like without the backside or without being an MDFC, this is kind of a crazier, more aggressive Burgie. Not as good as Burgie because Burgie generates off of any spell, but still, nonetheless, the mana doesn't go away. As long as you control Electro, you hang on to it. So, what are your thoughts, your feelings on a card that holds on to red mana?
This was on my list too. I had it on there for the burginess. I had it on there for the Ashling Flame Dancer effect of not losing red mana. Things you can do with that I think are super exciting. I wish, I mean, if we want to break this card in half, we give it Magecraft. Unfortunately, they kept it to cast and not cast or copy, which probably puts it right in the comfortable playable range without totally making it insane. It does so much. We hoard mana, we make mana, and as the little icing on top, when he dies, you can punish somebody, or maybe in the game. I don't know what your red mana situation looks like, but I have decks I'm trying this in. I'm excited to give it a whirl and see what Man Bergie can do for us.
Yeah, absolutely. This is like it's going to be in standard. It's going to wreak havoc on standard to a point where it like they did this with Heartfire Hero. Well, this is a larger investment, but I do think that Red usually has trouble dealing with or like having like a sink for their mana. So usually they'll make their one or two plays in a turn, and then they'll have 3 lands untapped, and they don't make another play. They don't have something to sink that mana into, but now they do. And now they can make bigger, larger, splashier plays than they previously could have before. So I think that when mono red strategies, where in the past they've run into the problem of running out of gas or whatever, I think this card actually helps you maintain a pace of play. While it doesn't quite provide card advantage, it does allow you to play bigger spells where red couldn't usually do that before. All right.
I think this was a great card. I have another villain in the red category. It is Molten Man, Inferno Incarnate, 2 in a red for a 0/0. It's an elemental villain, so another villain.
Hey.
When it enters, search your library for a mountain, put it on the battlefield tapped. It gets 1/1 for each mountain you control. So, I mean, it can die if it's your first mountain you played, but when it leaves, sack a land. Anything that can get me a landfall trigger in red, I'm super excited to talk about, because I've been theory crafting. The worst parts about a Simic landfall deck is everything it can do. It can really explode and pop off in a turn. I want to do that same thing with Gruul landfall, and this is just another little piece of that arsenal slowly coming together. We got some stuff in Final Fantasy, and this is just another piece of the puzzle. Had it on my wish list for years, this Gruul landfall deck. So I'm excited to see what this can do there.
Yeah, I was like, we were talking about, is his name Hydro-Man? You got Hydro-Man and Molten Man, right? And they both provide some sort of land advantage. So when I read this card and saw it was an uncommon, I was just like, oh, this could be definitely a rare. Like, we don't very often get this effect, like in mono red, to go search for a land and put it onto the battlefield. So this is kind of big. While it does have a downside of like when it leaves, sacrifice the land. Sure, I think it should have said when it dies, but who am I to judge? Card design. Yeah, I think this is great, and it has a huge ceiling. Like, there's just the chance you get later in the game, it fetches a mountain, it thins you out a little bit more, and then it is massive. It's huge. It's a 12/12, So, yeah, 12/12 without really like any abilities, but it does still put pressure on your opponents. My next red card is J. Jonah Jameson. I actually really like this card. It's 2 in a red for a legendary human citizen. When J. Jonah Jameson enters, suspect up to 1 target creature. If you're unfamiliar with the suspect mechanic from Murders at Karlov Manor, a suspected creature has menace and it cannot block. Whenever a creature you control with menace attacks, create a treasure token. Am I putting emphasis on the word menace enough, or should I do it more?
Your menace is being felt.
Menace! Yeah. But I do think that it's very flavorful, right? J. Jonah Jameson is always accusing Spider-Man, and so giving something menace or suspecting them to be as of being a menace That was also what I really liked about the set, is that it almost implies that Jameson is right in some ways, because some of these spiders do have menace attached to them. But yeah, this is kind of crazy, right? There are so many creatures out there with menace, like Goldhound, Labyrinth Raptor, one of my favorite cards of all time, and then just like Professional Facebreaker too. So this could be like a way to generate a crap load of treasures really, really quick if you just try to sort of focus in on the menace aspect of things. So I would say that it's not like a common keyword. We don't get a ton of really powerful cards with menace on them, but the ones that do have menace on them, this magnifies the ability. So I am stoked for this. I'm probably not building like a crazy mono red commander deck with J. Jonah Jameson, but I am looking to build this in constructed, because it does take the strategies that I already really like with menace attached to them and magnifies them, gives them like, here's the thing with Professional Facebreaker, whenever you attack, you don't actually need to make the contact. You get the treasure, and then you can sacrifice the treasure to exile the top card of your library and play it this turn. So upside with J. Jonah Jameson. So Rakdos aggro. That's what I like. That's why I like J. Jonah Jameson. Super sick.
There's so many things. Just did a quick search for cards that make tokens with Menace.
Yeah.
And they're all in red. I have Alexandria from Assassin's Creed, Chishiro, the Shattered Blade from Kamigawa,
Yeah.
Bladewing, Deathless Tyrant. They all make tokens with Menace. I think this has a lot of application.
Yeah. It's more than you'd think. And I was just looking at it like in the frame of mind from Delny. It's a 2/2, and J. Jonah Jameson is the one that triggers. So Delny actually instigates double treasures whenever a creature with menace attacks. So I think there are a lot of different ways that you could sort of build J. Jonah Jameson to be one of your soul cards. It generates mana. It helps you get through easier. Like your opponents have to block a little bit more aggressively. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I think,
and for those of you unsure of what Menace just meant by soul cards, you can check out last week's podcast where we dive deep and talk about what soul cards are and what they mean for us as deck builders.
that was a satisfying plug. All right. Any more red cards?
Yes, there's one. I saved it for last. It has my whole heart. Shadow of the Goblin. 1 in a red enchantment. It has Unreliable Visions, which means at the beginning of your first main phase, you discard a card, and if you do, draw a card. Cool. Some casual card selection.
Yeah.
No problem. No big deal there. The second ability is Undying Vengeance. Whenever you play a land or cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, this enchantment deals 1 damage to each opponent. I know they did this because of the Mayhem mechanic, which we really haven't touched on yet. But for me, and my passion for Rakdos decks, the Obnixilis, the Rakdos the Muscle, Prosper, Tomebound, everything that casts stuff out of exile, and that's their whole shtick. The backside of Bergie, the Jessica's Will, anything you're doing out of exile, this temporary red card advantage that they have been printing, this gives you some value there. So I recognize it's not the best card, but all of the synergy pieces I have in existing decks and ways I can abuse this, it's just 1 damage. I don't think I'm going to combo off. I don't think I'm going to win the game with it. But it goes back to your conversation on the pumpkin bombs. The clock starts. So I don't have to take them down to 0, but if I can get them under 20, I make certain cards better. That are mine. Suddenly my 5/4 flyer is kind of scary. It speeds the game up. It gives me card selection. and it plays into the theme I'm already working to take advantage of, which is this temporary um, uh, red card draw advantage by getting stuff in exile until the end of turn. And because I have that Electro Assaulting Battery, I got all the mana in the world to cast those spells.
Yeah, this enchantment's actually crazy with Ob Nixilis. Like, I was just looking it up because I had to remember how Ob Nixilis Captive Kingpin was actually phrased. And it's like, so whenever one or more opponents each lose exactly one life, put a +1/+1 counter on Ob Nixilis, exile the top card of your library until your next end step, you may play that card. So it exiles the card for you. And then whenever you cast something other than from your hand, this deals 1 damage. So this is a perfect card for Ob Nixilis and for Prosper, because not only does it do, well, exactly what you want it to do, but most of the time in those 2 decks, whenever you cast something from exile, this effect helps replace the card you just played. So in Ob Nixilis, if this is on the battlefield, any spell you cast from outside is going to deal that damage. You're going to get to exile another card and see one more thing. It's almost like it's almost too good in that deck. You know, like,
Yeah.
this is such a good stimulating piece for that strategy.
And you cast your commander, you resolve a suspend spell, you're playing from your grave or off the top of your library. Like, it's not just those niche kind of Rakdos applications. It works in other areas. And in all of those areas, I think it works super well. If you're in red without brain freeze, if you can get your bin in the grave, this is a Underworld Breach win.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty
So-
nice. That just to cast infinitely or to cast enough spells, build the storm count, then this would play off of Underworld Breach really well.
I don't know. Your food chain loops, this is the outlet.
Yeah, that's really good too. This might just be, for me, a Shalai and Halar card. Because, like, the way I see it, like, I'm already in enchantments, and I love them, right? And the deck struggles with card draw. And I do not mind discarding cards that are irrelevant to, like, the current game state. So, like, when it comes around to my turn, this would help me, like, discard a card, feed the graveyard a little bit, draw a card, and then whenever I play or cast something, this is a red source dealing damage. So it actually it combos off with the Red Terror. By being a red source that triggers damage. So it would create the loop on its own. So maybe worth it. Maybe worth it in my own particular strategy that I like. It's definitely worth testing. This is a good card. I sort of like overlooked
It's fun. It's cheap, right? It's low investment. If it doesn't work out for you, great. You pay 2 mana for it.
Yeah. It's at least worth testing, I think, because I mean, you gotta know. And then you can always slot it out, put something else in for similar mana value. All right. I think we're on to green now, yeah?
Yeah, we are. The green I have chosen are actually just Gruul cards. Green had some tools. I'll just go through them quick. Grow extra arms. 1 in a green was an instant. It costs 1 less if it targets a spider. Target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. So it's another giant growth, just slightly worse, but for decks that want that ability, that's great. That plays. Kapow with the exclamation point, 2 in a green is a sorcery. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. It fights. So for those of you with a fight spell deck, another one for the arsenal again. And then the last one I'm just going to breeze through is Strength of Will. 1 in a green, till end of turn, target creature gets indestructible, and whenever this creature is dealt damage, put that many 1/1 counters on it. So now we got a combat trick for your 1/1 counters deck. So fun little tools that all do stuff. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it because I think we have other things in this color that do something extremely similar and potentially better. What's fun or unique and kind of falls into the green slot is the cheering crowd, and that's what I want your opinion on. One in a Gruul, so a hybrid mana. We got some hybrid mana in this set, which is always fun to dust off.
Yeah, I was gonna say we haven't
As a
touched on any of the multicolored cards quite yet. Yeah, but go ahead.
Human Citizen 2/2 at the beginning of each player's main phase, that player may put a 1/1 counter on this creature, and if they do, they add a colorless mana for each counter on it. So I like this because I think in casual gameplay, everyone's going to do this. Everyone's going to get to put counters on it, and now everyone's got a chunk of mana and they can cast all their spells, and everyone's going to do stuff. So your 2-hour commander game is going to take like 45 minutes. I'm excited for that. And then I don't think this is a high power card, but seeing the look on people's face when they're faced with this dilemma because they understand that playing into this strategy is going to somehow help you. They're going to want that colorless mana, and they only get it if they put the counter on it. So I think they're going to pass on it, and you're going to be the only one putting counters on this. But you're going to get the mana, and that's exactly what you want to do with it.
Yeah, because it ultimately comes around to be better, bigger, and better for you if they don't remove it. So that's really the risk I see with it, is that you put it out there and you give everybody the opportunity, and then the third person goes, yeah, I'm gonna take the mana, use some of the mana that you gave me, and kill it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, that's what that's like that is the optimal play. Get what you can out of it and try not to let anybody else have it. So yeah, but I do think it's a great card that in these casual strategies like you're talking about, this is going to accelerate the game in such a meaningful way. Almost make a rule, just like, hey, let's all play with everybody has a cheering crowd as soon as the game starts. Everybody does.
This kind of feels like a plane chase level.
Yeah. Everyone
like
creates a token copy of cheering crowd when they at the beginning of their upkeep. Yeah, go ahead.
But I'm really excited for that. I wanted to talk about it. Do you have any like straight green cards you're into?
Straight green cards. Just I think the radioactive spider is interesting for the tutoring ability, but it's also 1 green mana for a 1/1 reach death touch that you can pay to, sacrifice it, search your library for a spider hero card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. You can only activate it as a sorcery, so it's a little bit limited there, but everything else is multicolored for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's jump down into multicolored. The first one I think we should talk about is Mr. Negative. This is a really exciting new Orzhov commander. It's 5, a white and a black, 7 in total. A 5/5 human villain, vigilance, lifelink. When Mr. Negative enters, you may exchange life totals with target opponent. If you lost life this way, draw that many cards. Wah wah wee wah. That's pretty crazy. And the cool thing about the artwork is that if you do flip it to negative, he look like you get to see like all of the colors and proper contrast on him. Like that was a really cool design element of this card, I thought. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Mr. Negative? I can't wait to sit across from it.
Yeah. As soon as the Orzhov deck gets to 7 mana, I think this is going to be excellent. You may exchange life totals with target opponent.
This was
it's interesting. It's a play space. How do you envision this working?
Well, this was like kind of like, you remember Eric's life exchange deck with the angel that allows you to pay 3 life as many times as you want? Did you ever play against that?
Once upon a time.
Yeah. So I think you can play it sort of like that. Maybe like this can take the place of that. But I I don't know, whittle down someone else's life total or whittle down your own life total and then do the exchange. And while you didn't lose cards, but you can now flicker it or get some sort of flicker, like Ephemerate's really great with this card.
Sure.
But this could be something where it's like you could kill yourself super easily by like bringing yourself down to like 10 life and then swapping with someone at 40. Like, or like swapping or like being at 40 and then swapping with someone who's at 10.
Sure.
And just
Draw
being
half
like,
the deck.
oh my God.
And we're so lucky we're getting Ephemerate in that secret lair. So
Yeah.
we'll have access to that card.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I see with it is like it comes down and there's already a Conjurer's Closet down or something like that. Or and you just, or the Teleportation Circle, same colors. And you just, it enters, it switches with somebody, it puts you low or it puts you maybe higher. And then you switch with them at the end step again. Draw 7, like draw 7, draw 8, depending on the difference. It could be a huge like shift in card advantage. So I think Mr. Negative is very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, I was pretty off on it when you first brought it up, but I love that play pattern of like getting your own life total super low. Your opponents see Mr. Negative in the command zone and they're like, what? That's not the point of this deck.
Yeah.
And then you flicker it and you take their high life total and then you take your low life total back and draw a chunk of cards.
Yeah, and then at the end step,
I love that. I think that's fun.
Yeah, and then the end step, you just go right back to the high total. Like,
do you just end up building this like straight lifelink? Try to get 100 life, bring it in, swap somebody with 30, and draw your deck?
No, because you're gonna die. Like, you will die so fast with this. Like, you know how I'm saying, like, oh yeah, you could flicker with somebody and then like lose a bunch of life, draw a ton of cards, and then exchange the life totals back, right? But the next time that you exchange life totals, if you go for that big home run again, you're gonna have 10. Like, you have like 10 cards in your library, and then you can't do it anymore. So you would hope that like the first big swing, this is basically a peer into the abyss that makes you lose more life. And there's a lot more work you got to put into it. But it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. That's why I like Mr. Negative. I think it's going to be a crazy, crazy commander. So, worth drawing attention to because it will draw you I think a lot of the time it's going to draw you like 30 cards. Sure. You can play all the cards in the world that allow you to pay as much life as you want. Like, there's that one card that's like an enchantment that says pay 3 life, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Right? So Mr. Negative, you just put all the +1/+1 counters on him or whatever, and then flicker. I don't know. Maybe you flicker him. Sure. You lose the counters, but you get the huge exchange of cards.
Lifelink him up. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I just play it for the flavor text. I think the flavor text is phenomenal.
Yeah, You're is.
Right.
That's really great.
It's about the experience.
Yeah. All right. We have Cosmic Spider-Man, the 5-color spider. This is just worth mentioning because if you like Spider-Man, this is the set for you. This is your commander. It is a spider human hero, 5/5, flying, first strike, trample, lifelink, haste. At the beginning of combat on your turn, eat other spiders you control, gain flying, first strike, trample, lifelink, and haste until end of turn. So people were saying that when this was released, it's not even a spider commander, it's a sliver commander. And I can see it. I could definitely see that being the case. Just using Maskwood Nexus or something to turn this into a sliver and turn everything into spiders or whatever, and then you get just crazy benefits.
Yeah. This is your changeling deck.
Mm-hmm.
This is at the helm. You get access to every changeling and you go crazy.
Yep. I think this is good. It's a really good card. Or you play I think you could just play Morophon and then just name spiders and play that as your Spider-Man deck. Now that would have been sick. All right. Are there any...
Does Morophon have the text that lets you cast this for free? Is that how that works?
Yeah. Everything's reduced by Wooburg, by the color, the pips. All right. Any other multicolored spells that you're thinking about or have on your list?
Just just one more. Again, it was one of the big schematic arts that were spoiled a long time ago. Grasping Tentacles. One a blue and a black for a sorcery. Target opponent mills 8 cards. You may put an artifact card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. There's usually an artifact deck at the table. It doesn't have to be one of the cards that was milled. So if somebody destroyed something super valuable and it's in their bin and you want it, you get it now for the low cost of 3 mana. I don't think it's incredible. I don't think it's game breaking, but I'm thinking about it and I think it's fun. Any sort of opponent mill strategy, I love this. This is a ramp spell in that case. So, like I said, I'm trying to look for those synergistic options. Instead of playing some 3 mana rock, I'm playing Grasping Tentacles. I'm going to take their mana rock and I'm going to mill some cards of theirs in the process.
Yeah. No, this is sick. And it's, again, probably overlooked because it did get spoiled so long ago. So, yeah, these are eternal legal, but not standard legal cards. So, great for Commander. Perfect for Commander. A villain that I really liked from the movie, or from the second Into the Spider-Verse movie, was the Spot, Living Portal. So the Spot is in this set, 3 a white and a black for a human scientist villain. 4/4 when it enters, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent and up to 1 target non-land permanent card from a graveyard. When the Spot dies, put them on the bottom of the library. If you do, return the exiled cards to their owner's hand. I feel like this has interesting applications to, especially in the command zone, where you can just put it back, and like when it changes zones, and you still get the effect of putting the thing in the graveyard or the thing that was exiled back into your hand. So, yeah, interesting application. Great spot removal. Then there's also it's Morbin time for everybody out there who is a Morbius fan. Morbius the Living Vampire, 2 a blue and a black, 3/1 flying vigilance lifelink. Actually a pretty well statted out vampire. Flying vigilance lifelink, 3/1 for 4 mana, but you can pay a blue and a black, exile this card from your graveyard, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So, actually, a ton of value from Morbius. I really like it.
Yeah, you're not worried about just sending it in if they're gonna block or something. Great, it has a graveyard effect.
Yeah,
as far as Dimir goes, pretty aggro. I like it.
Yeah, and it's like a really great rate for that type of effect too, and it feeds the graveyard. I think. No, rest on the bottom of the library. Oops.
I don't know enough about Morbius in Spider-Man, but this looks like some Innistrad art. I kind of dig it.
Yeah.
Memes aside, this is cool.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many, like, I think the more I look at this set, there are a lot of really great effects out there. And for everyone who was timid on Spider-Man, who were saying that, you know, it just doesn't feel inspired, I think it comes down to the artwork that makes a lot of players feel like it's not feeling as inspired. It's not Magic the Gathering. Let's just, like, I think that's the strongest sentiment that I can express about this set. This is not, while the cards play like they're Magic the Gathering, this is not Magic the Gathering. And that is why the general fan base is rather cold on the set. If you are a player who wants to play Magic the Gathering cards from this set, you can do so on Arena, because they just released all these cards this morning, all the artworks, all the new names and stuff like that. If you're unfamiliar with like the scandal or whatever you want to call it, the mishap, I don't know. It was a snafu. I'm really liking that word lately. well, Wizards of the Coast couldn't get the rights to the artwork and the names for all the Spider-Man characters from the printed set for Arena. So you're not going to see Spider-Man on Arena. Marvel wouldn't allow for it. So they had to go through and make all of these like different artworks and rename all of the cards, but have them do the same exact things. There are some keyword changes like web slinging. That's a trademarked thing or whatever. So their new keyword for Arena is in web. So if you wanted to web sling on Arena, you're going to in web. And the Infinity Stone is no longer an Infinity Stone. It is a Terminus Stone. So they have like the trademark and the copyright for that word or combination of words or whatever. So the best thing that I can say about the set is that it is well designed. Now, when you play it on Arena, you're going to see that because it will look and play like Magic, like Magic should. The artworks are all inspired. They invoke a sense of fantasy and not the streets of New York City. It explores multiple planes. So it's called Through the Omen Paths, but it explores multiple planes from Duskmorn to Bloomborough to a bunch of Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Pretty much every set that's available in Standard at the moment. I think there's some new Capenna stuff and some Edge of Eternities stuff. So all the artworks are amazing. You're going to really enjoy playing this on Arena. But as far as like in paper, I think that's really the issue people have is that it's been a criticism of Wizards of the Coast for a while now that they've been too tongue-in-cheek. They don't take themselves seriously enough. And so like when you see Imposter Syndrome, which I think is like a really good effect, it's a really great card, but for 6 mana, it's an enchantment that whenever a non-token creature you control deals combat damage of a player or to a player, create a token that's a copy of it, except it isn't legendary. And then the artwork they slapped on it was the meme. It was the Spider-Man meme of 2 Spider-Mans pointing at each other. And here's the thing. It's not even framed well. It just looks like a brick wall with 2 Spider-Men on opposing sides. So I get it. I get it. You want to have fun in the design process. I trust you. The players are going to have fun when you take your job seriously. And I guess I'm speaking directly to Wizards of the Coast right now. But the number of spectacular Spider-Man artworks that are so not serious and are just being printed to cause for whales to go out and try to pull the right one. It's just, and then the Soulstone, this is the card that's pushed. This card alone will likely sell the set, just like the One Ring sold Lord of the Rings. But yeah, the rest of the set just sort of feels like a big meme in a lot of ways, but there are some cards that are really, really good. And they're going to look and feel a lot better when you play them on Arena with actual Magic-inspired mechanics and artwork.
If you are going to be talking directly to Wizards of the Coast, I would like to tack on a footnote. I had originally felt bad because the art team, even though this is kind of a smaller set, they had to do double duty, right? They had to get art for the Spider-Man paper cards, and then they had to do a whole nother art set for the electronic set, which, they're trying to invoke flavor and make it on theme with no matter which set you're talking about. I imagine they kind of had to pull like a double duty on this, doing all of this work. And if their online art is going to be this good every time they have to do that, I hope Wizards does it more. I am so jealous of the online community and the collection of cards they're going to get to add to their arsenal because I think this artwork is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And maybe it's going back to what you said, right? Like I'm a really I really appreciate the in-universe stuff. And that's what I'm seeing here. This is truly Magic art and it looks so good.
Yeah.
If I could take this and put it on paper decks, I would in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how I feel. It's like if I could just print these out, like if I am going to include one of these Spider-Man cards in my decks and I'm proxying it up, I'm just going to proxy this version. I'm going to proxy the online version. And then when people are like, "What card is that?" and I'll be like, "Oh, it's the arena version of the Spider-Man card." And they're like, "Oh, that looks so sick." And I'm like, "I know, right?" So,
And that's, I mean, my opinion isn't a knock on the Spider-Man stuff. I think the Spider-Man stuff is probably for some people. There's some people that are going to get really into it, and that's good. They say not every set's for you. Maybe this set isn't for me art-wise. This is just less a dig at the Spider-Man set and more for the Omen Path set, hyping that up because that is so cool. If you haven't taken the time, step away, pause this podcast, go on to the Wizards website and look at Through the Omen Paths. Look at the artwork. Take some appreciation for the artists here.
Yeah, Jesper Eisling does a ton of really great pieces for the Omen Paths set that are like somewhat iconic. And I think there was a little bit of a post on Reddit that was saying that all the collectors of certain artists' artwork are upset that they won't be able to get these cards signed. But I'm hoping that when you go to MagicCon, you see Jesper there, that they'll have prints available for some of this artwork because it's really pretty. The last thing I was going to say is that I think that for all the people who are down about Spider-Man, and it's not to like say that you're wrong for not enjoying it or not wanting it. The thing that I will say is that we have to realize that the Magic the Gathering community is far smaller than the Marvel Cinematic Universe community or, like the Marvel fans community. So every branch out into Universes Beyond is a business tactic to increase the size of the Magic community because that's how they know that the more people who buy in, the more chance they'll stick around and buy another set. And when the next Marvel set comes out with the Power Stone or whatever thing comes next, that they will be a part of that. So this is part of a greater scheme that as players, yes, we would like to feel immersed. We would like to feel like it's almost like the way I feel about Pokemon, where I wish that they could see my perspective instead of just making children's games the whole time and make actually the game that fans want. I imagine that's how Magic players feel right now. Just make the stuff that we want. And unfortunately, that's just not in the best interest for a business that's trying to expand its demographic. So that's my 2 cents on this whole thing.
And on top of all that, if you thought it was bad enough, one day you're going to have to explain to your opponent that there is a Mind Stone and there is the Mind Stone, and they're not going to know the difference.
I imagine the Mind Stone is going to be like it's going to be a Mind Slaver, but just far more efficient.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts there, Rampage, on today's discussion?
I'm thinking about it. If you want to help me out in the Discord community, I am thinking really hard about Jund spiders from this set. If I'm going to participate at all in playing these cards, I think a fun commander Jund spider list would be cool. And I want to hear your thoughts. I want to get some sleeper picks. There's Eddie Brock from this set. It's a black card that flips into a Jund symbiote. I'm thinking about that as a commander. I want to abuse this mayhem mechanic And I think Jund is the strongest in order to do that. So come join the Discord. Let's throw some ideas around. I'd love to put this deck together.
Hell yeah. One card for that deck, Moon Mist. Check it out. Moon Mist on the rise. Stonks.
Oh, the transform thing? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, it transforms humans, and it doesn't explicitly say werewolves. So you can transform any of these spiders as long as they're in green immediately, or for 2 mana. So it's some pretty cool tech. All right.
Love it.
Well, if you'd love to support the show, you can do so by finding us on YouTube, where you can like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more notifications. You can also support us on all podcasting platforms by leaving us a 5-star review to make us look super duper cool. And you can support us on Patreon by becoming an official Pepperhead. You can have your name turned Dr. Pepper Red on the Discord server for $3 a month. It's the best deal on the internet. There's not really any deals better than that. So you should just do it. Just jump on the Patreon and have your name turned Dr. Pepper Red. Join the community, and make sure if you aren't joining the Patreon, just jump on the Discord server and participate in some deck building, in some webcam magic, in share when you have live events happening, or if you have had your cards altered. We have a badass alters channel that's been pretty dormant lately. We need some new spice in there. So, or you can jump down into the color pie discussion and post in whatever color combination you're interested in, and we can start the discussion there. So there's a lot to do, and it's just waiting for you to join. All right. This has been the MoxStars podcast, the #1 podcast on the internet for Magic the Gathering and Dr. Pepper. We're out of here. Peace.